meeting, and once we adjourn it, we'll go straight into the workshop. So as far as invocation, Reverend wasn't able to make it, so I asked Danny Benson to start us off with a prayer.
Most gracious Father, I come before you as humbly as I know how today, Lord. First of all, we want to thank you that you woke us up this morning, Lord. Lord, as we're gathered here today, we're looking for your counsel, Lord God. You guide this panel up here today that we make the right decisions, Lord God, and continue to bless Newton County. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and I'd like to invite it to public, and Ms. Mary Woods wanted to speak.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, Court. Thank you.
Morning.
This is not meant to be contentious. This is a moral and legal decision that I've chosen to make. Everyone received their letter from our treasurer's office about their timesheets. That now the policy that they have had for a while regarding our timesheet schedule. And we got our PDFs, the email was sent out, I think the 15th, we got our PDF that was written the 8th, that it says it may seem early, and it explains that if the timesheets aren't early, it was explaining about, they have several duties, et cetera, that if the timesheets aren't delivered to our office 9 a.m. on the scheduled date, that we will have no knowledge of the employee working, and we'll have therefore have to move on with the payroll, and the employee must wait until the next payroll be paid. And it states that what I would need to do as an employee is it was confusing because the way it's written up here, it says part-time employees, temporary employees, employees receiving comp time, overtime, et cetera. But the letter explains all employees, okay? So all employees are to turn in their timesheets as example of this next timesheet for me. Go ahead and fill it out as if I've worked it, as if I've worked it 1st through 15th, and sign it and turn it in by March 7th. That's a lie, and I cannot do that. I sought outside legal counsel to make sure that I was not misunderstanding. It is a legal document, and I'm signing confused that it is a legal document, and that I'm also asking my supervisor to sign that. And then in a redundant manner, he asked, why does the judge also have to sign it? And I said, well, he is my direct supervisor. And he said, well, that's a matter to sign to figure, the county to settle. But he says, to me, it seems redundant because if your department signs it, I don't see the need, but that's something for y'all to work out. But he did say that I sign this ahead of time and get paid ahead of time when I have not worked those hours. And it is a matter of then the county has to recall those hours. And I said, well, what I understand is they're trusting that we would be honest and turn in, well, I was sick, or well, I took a day off. He said, well, we have had court cases over that. And he named a case of a huge company of 5,000 employees and what they got into with a matter like this. And all I went for was seeking my little puny hours, okay? And I say puny because I'm just a small-time worker. And it was a moral issue for me first because I'm signing a lie. And so I am choosing, and I have written a letter, and my boss probably hadn't even had time to receive it yet. But I addressed a letter this morning to my executive board and my commission members, and I copied. And I wrote that I am emailing those of you, good morning, executive board and commission members, and our commission members vote. They have a right to vote, and under the historical commission. I'm emailing those of you, who have email addresses and will call Gaydell and Titter with the same information since they do not use email. I'm writing to make you aware of a decision I have made. Forwarded is the letter received from Christy Holloway, Assistant Treasurer. Below, you see all who have received it. I included her email so she'd know. Please read the attached first PDF. This letter from Ms. Holloway is explaining a policy her office has had but has never enforced. It is now required. The second PDF shows the timesheet, explaining the schedule of our timesheet due. I sent them to see for yourself that what I am required to do as an employee. The important part, but the lines that are clear on the letter from the first PDF that pertain to me is and then if the timesheets aren't delivered to our office by 9 a.m. on the scheduled date, we will have to wait until the next payroll to be paid for those hours. On the timesheet schedule PDF, the importance I would like to point out is for this month, March, it is now in place for the employees that I am required to turn in my March 1st through 15th timesheet by 9 a.m. March 7th. The March 16th to 31st timesheet is to be turned in by March 23rd, 9 a.m. Morally and legally, this is wrong. Signing and testing, they have been working. My supervisor, John, is required to sign off saying, I worked these hours, and then the county judge is being required to sign off, which is redundant. I did not feel right about this as soon as I was notified. I turned in my February 28th time ending sheet yesterday to the judge as the true date should be. I have sought legal advice to make sure I have not misunderstood any factor of this. I have not. It is illegal to pay employees ahead. Then go back and correct and turn in my timesheets at the correct by calendar due date and will appear before Commissioners Court this morning to present this during public remarks. Thank you for understanding, and I signed it. So I just wanted a matter of record that that's how I'm going to do mine. And so if you'd like all this for a matter of record also, or if my reading and being on recording suffices, then that can be.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Terry.
Good. Can I reflect on that?
It's not on the agenda, so you can, I will give you time to speak.
Courtney, can I speak? Yes. As far as the timesheets, we were having trouble getting the timesheets in. I sought legal counsel also through TAC, through my HR department. And if I do not have timesheets in our office, part-time timesheets by the designated time, then I can move forward until I get their timesheet. They won't, and they'd have to make it, when I got it back, then I'd make up those hours. But that's where I stand on that part. Salary people, they can turn their timesheets in on the day they get paid or 3 days after. Salary people are totally different than our part-time people. So, and I knew we've had changes, everybody's trying to figure out who's going to sign timesheets and all, where we're going to put them with our new different departments to come up with everything. We do need those timesheets, and Christy probably didn't explain it enough on there, what needs to happen. But salary people can turn theirs in 3 days after they get paid. They don't have to turn theirs in early. The part-time people are only ones that we need. On those days that it sets, unless somebody's got comp time, like Bubba's got, or overtime, and we get those. We've got that worked out with him, I believe, and then if somebody is gonna be out or their pay needs to be done. But I've spoke with TAC on how that we do our payroll, through our legal department at the HR, and everything's good the way that we do payroll. And I'm sorry that the timesheets have caused an inconvenience for anybody on our policy on how to do it. So I guess we can all guess I can speak with Terry or whoever to where we can get that resolved, matter resolved.
All right.
Thank you for letting me speak.
All right, thank you, Judy. All right, and consider action on the following items. Number one is discuss and take items action on requests for bids received on February 14th, 2023 for the GLO CDBG flood and drainage program. GLO contract number 22-02-108 -220, and that's Goodwin, Lester and Strong. Oh, I didn't close the public hearing, so I missed that. Close the public hearing. So go ahead.
So, February 14th, 2023, we received bids on the GLO Mint Drainage Structures Project. Had a lot of interest online. That interest only resulted in 2 contractors providing bids on 2 of the 3 packages. The 1 package did not receive any bids at all. Just for your own information, package 1 was drainage structure projects in precinct 1, 3068 and 3073. Package 2 was precinct 2. That was County Roads 1059, 1021, 1022. And then package 3 was precinct 3 projects, which included Davidson Road and Pines Ferry or County Road 2018.
That we received no bids on.
And we
Yes.
received no bids on precinct 3. After tallying all the bids up, we were over budget just on the bids received from and we didn't even receive bids on one of the packages. So engineering firm, we make the recommendation that we reject all bids, go back, redesign the project, see what we can cut out. Maybe we can cut out just some of the work within the locations. We may have to cut out entire locations to rebid the projects, get them down into construction dollars for the grant. Anybody else have any questions for me?
Is this project had to be completed?
This project needs to be complete, November of 2024.
So I guess we need a motion to reject bids and to redesign and go out for bids again.
So we're gonna have to come back before court to send out to rebid again, or can we do it all today?
Have to come back. So they're gonna have to redo the engineering on it.
Yeah, we got to request that though first. All we're gonna do today is reject them.
Yeah, I was trying to get the ball
I
rolling.
know.
Well, can we,
Authorized advertising, what's open.
Not on here.
I'll make the motion, we reject them, so we can get on down the road with, redesign. We don't have the funds available to can't afford to let them go back, not do them, period.
I second.
all right, motion made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? Motion's passed. And what I'm thinking we'll do is, next commission report is March 14th. We'll get it on there too.
You know, Judge, can I speak?
Yes.
So we talked last a little bit about the need to have a workshop and talk about all of the grants because we got a lot of deadlines. I know I have two that have to be done by May 31st, and the rest of them on GLO is August, the end of August. Talked about possibly having a workshop, you know, more for the five of us to kind of get aligned and maybe do some prioritization on, you know, if it's a resource issue. Is that something that you plan on? Can we get that in the works to have a workshop maybe after the next 14th, March
Yes.
14th?
Yes,
Good court.
yes, we can. Yeah, yeah. Get it going.
Thank you, sir.
And that note, question, since Newton papers no longer gonna be in effect, who we gonna use to post in news, which newspaper?
The East Texas Banner is taking over all of the newspapers.
Okay. Thank you.
So it will be the Kerrville paper? Okay,
But now we may want to consider Jasper.
Yeah, we were looking at Jack.
They advertise in Beaumont. But I'm sure, Kirbyville gets Jasper also. Maybe.
all right. Item number 2 is discuss and if appropriate, approve a donation of $10,000 from Venture Global LNG to Newton County Precinct 4 to be used to refurbish of the playground / park in Dewaville. And that's Leonard.
Yeah, so what happened there, one of the representatives had the opportunity to meet him and talked about what all they're doing. They got some other great incentives for Newton County in there. He talked about donations that he had made in Newton County to the Newton County Fair Association, and then I think also to the Newton County 4-H and FFA clubs. And then he was basically inquiring, since we're coming through Precinct 4, what can we do specific to Precinct 4? And first and foremost, I told him we supported everything they're doing there. And I just, I said, I could into the park, and I just showed him what we were working on. And he said he'd like to help, or LNG with the Venture Global would like to help. And then sent an email back saying that he'd like to talk about it. I went to the auditor's office because I don't know exactly how those discussions or conversations should happen. So we called together, and he told us that his company would like to donate $10,000 to the park to kind of refurbish. Well, to refurbish, it had some damage, and I think Laura or one of the storms blew the canopy off. It needs a lot of work. So my request is I'll make that motion.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Fonda,
I second.
second by Commissioner White. All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Thank you, Court.
Okay, item number 3, and is discuss and consider action to change the fee and guidelines for Newton County Senior Citizen Center in Precinct 4. Proposed changes include altering the rental fee from $150 to $0 while requiring a $200 deposit rather than or money order to Newton County. The deposit will be returned if the center is clean, with all items remaining intact in the kitchen and no property damage occurring. A second proposed change is to allow the lessee to utilize the kitchen area with the exception of those items labeled seniors. And that's Commissioner Powell.
Yeah, so the senior center was actually purchased, the land was donated back in years ago, and it was donated with the understanding that if it was ever KK was so gracious to find that the November 21st, 2012 meeting minutes, I give you each a copy of that, and I apologize, Rosemary, for not getting these to you, to include them in the packet. But, you know, they adopted these rules, and that's been 11 years ago now, so we kind of drifted away from some of them, not all of them, but the changes under the general rules, and these are proposed changes, and it's for the court to decide. And I say I don't have a great amount of passion, beat my fist on the desk saying we need to do this, because this building belongs to the taxpayers. It was actually court worked together to fund building from all of the precincts for Precinct 4. And that is very much appreciated and has been a blessing to Precinct 4. But we have people in the precinct that just simply, most of the people that use the building for parties and get-togethers are sometimes challenges and don't have they don't have $150 to spend on the rental fee of this building and then turn around and furnish refreshments and what have you for the building or buy their kid a present. And we've observed that. So this is a request to, what we've done in the past, and these rules originally were 150 rental fee for 8 hours, and then a $50 deposit that would be returned if the building was cleaned. My father was one that voted on this, and once it made the motion, and their thinking was that, this would deter anyone from going in and damaging the building because it was a substantial amount of money. So I just feel like that if we could get it to the point where we said, hey, we're not going to take $150 from you, but we're going to hold $200. You got to clean it, make it like it was before you left. If they didn't have the $200, I would work with them personally to make that available to them, give to the county. We need to put a $200 deposit down, and if they clean it up and nothing's destroyed, we give them all their money back so they can enjoy the building that actually belongs to them. The second thing is on the kitchen. I did meet with the seniors. We now have two seniors that are a committee for this building, which is what was in the 2012 meeting request or requirements. The seniors were very concerned about the kitchen being used, but after visiting with them, there's 2 ice boxes. And they've been to label some of the cabinets as seniors that their personal belongings and pots and pans and goods would not be used, and they would be good with that. So it's to change the deposit or the rental fee to 0 and the deposit fee to a total of $200 to be refunded, and then also to allow the use of the kitchen.
Anybody have any comments on that?
Yeah. We need to lower, if lower the rent and still get something in for the lights and so forth. And that's just one commissioner throwing it out there.
Well, we also had the senior the civic center and the K building also. We have more than one building.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Chick. I meant to talk about that. So this building is somewhat unique as compared to the Civic Center here in Newton, because that Civic Center was not purchased with taxpayers' dollars, as I understand it. This building was actually purchased with taxpayer funds. I don't know about the K building. I didn't do any research on it, but that building belongs to the county, and the taxpayers did not actually pay for it, as I understand it. This building, the taxpayers paid for this building. And I'm not in disagreement that we need some money. I would, if we lowered it, so be it. My thoughts on the electrical, just my thoughts. We keep the AC, central air and heat running 24/7, 365. We have the amount of energy increase from somebody holding a party there is so insignificant. I don't see it impacting the bottom line for the county at the end of the year. That was my thinking on it. Maybe totally out of line on that. But I think it stands alone from the Civic Center. Maybe the K building's the same. I'm not sure too.
I have a question. The Civic Center and I believe the K building, both, the renter is required to clean it, but then it's behind them cleans it again. Who cleans the senior center?
The renter. That's part of the deposit. I think it's in these rules.
That's part of it for the Civic Center too, but somebody still has to go behind them and clean it better. And so like on a regular basis, if anybody's renting it, who cleans it?
So the judge out of O10 has a custodian, that cleans, the annex building and the senior center, excuse me, once a week. But we have is that, the renter will actually meet with one of the senior committee members. They'll go over all the rules, what have you. They sign the contract that's brought up. The cashier's check will actually be collected at the JP's office. But then to get the keys back, the same committee member or one of the two committee members meet with the leasee. They go over the building, make sure it's clean to an acceptable standard, and then they sign off on it is clean and they get the refund.
To be cleaned again.
If it has, if it hasn't, it doesn't happen. So that's part of it. It's,
Just another little food for thought. We've had before at the Civic Center where the people thought they left it clean, but then our cleaning person found things that they did not think it was clean enough. And so we kind of like settled, I guess, with the vendor for half of the deposit, giving them half the money back. And so that didn't really have anything to do with your motion or what's on the table, but just let you know that that's come up before too, that we had to deal with. I guess things is mine, and then ended up giving them back half of their deposit because the things left in the restroom that were not, I don't know where it came from, but wasn't good.
that's good feedback for our committee members, and I will share that with them, but I know them both, and they're gonna make sure it's very clean. So, but yeah, that'll be decided that day when the committee member and the leasee meet back up to transfer the keys back. You know, they'll walk through the building. Also, they're gonna have to go through and make sure that none of the items is taken from the senior center or the senior kitchen. So pretty detailed review process. But at the end of this, you know, someone's expressed some concern or, you know, is it fair that all the taxpayers pay for this because it's in one precinct? So if, you know, if the thought is let's lower it to a really low, I mean, fee to cover the electricity, I'm good with that. But I mean, 8 hours of electricity for a building that's going to have electricity on in it much, it's not going to be much of an increase. You know, it's.
But it's the little things, my dad told me years ago, what, take care of the little things, the big little things, and we've been struggling for the last 4 years I've been here, been struggling, trying to come up with $1 at the last minute, trying to, you know what I'm saying? I understand your concern for the citizens, and rightfully so, and you're right, there's a lot of people that $150 would really put them in a bind if they got grandbabies, they're trying to show a good time and that kind of thing. But going from 150 to 0 is, I think we ought to try to at least get $50 so we can buy some, replace the light bulbs or something. If, you know, it's a lot of little issues that we're not. You know, little things that break and this kind of thing, you know, you got a little bit of something. I just hate to, you get nothing for free anywhere no more. And I just, and I think people understand that. I think anyone, well, that's not true statement. There are some people look for, but those kind of people got a different outlook on life.
And, you know, I guess where I was at with it is, you know, our library is open to our taxpayers. It's their library. They paid for it. We have a county expense for that. But I understand. Hey, I'm gonna have a party there. So if you guys have a suggestion, I know this is an action item on here. I'm thinking we can modify or make an emotion to change some of these recommendations to change the amounts. So I mean, what would be in your thought, what would be a rental fee for a day?
Well, even $50, I mean, it's better than nothing. Help a whole bunch. Half of it would be.
The cake bill is $50.
Yeah. I mean, $50 is not much. Keeping a standard that, you know, they understand. You got people just as well as we're thinking, looking out for them. You got others that's out there in the public that's saying, here we go again. They keep wanting to give away stuff, keep wanting. When it comes to budget time, well, you know, we're struggling. Everybody in the world knows that, you know, we're looking for some dollars anywhere we can find them. So I just, you know, I think that going to 0 would be kind of starting something at this other end, the people that's renting the K building or whatever, give them something to talk about.
Yeah, and you know, I would say, here we go again. My number's posted everywhere. So I'd love to talk with them about it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of expenses in the county that, I'm good with $50. That's appreciated if the court can support that because your taxpayers are paying for it as well, right? Yep.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion for?
I'll make that motion. We lowered from $150 to $50 towards the rent fee for the building. But I don't know what was the deposit.
So it would be, so basically we would reverse it. We could make the motion to change the deposit to the actual rental fee and change the rental fee to the deposit. So one's $150, one's $50. That way it's still a $200. Because if they go in there and tear anything up,
Yeah.
$200 is not going to fix a lot, right?
All right.
But basically, if your motion was to reverse the rental fee and the deposit, that should cover it. It would be a $150. Fee for $200.
And then once it's clean, they get their deposit back.
And they get their deposit back at $150. But if you would, in that motion, also include the use of the kitchen with the exception spelled out in this. Because that was in the court minutes, 2012, so we'll need to modify that.
Well, may I say one thing? We only charge $100 deposit fee for the Civic Center here at Newton. 200 is steep, or even 150. 100 would be sufficient.
Up on the Civic Center.
Yeah, 250 for the rental fee and $100 for the deposit. So you have to have $350 to rent it.
So the $200 deposit, I hate to back away from that because I talked with the committee members on that. They come sit down in my office and we talked on this. And they were very open to where if the court felt like we needed something to cover the lights, I'm speaking for them on their behalf as well. But the $200, they wanted the $200 deposit to cover taking something out of the seniors part of it. We got to replace that. So I like the reversing the 150 and the 50 if we can. That'll cover it.
But adding the part about being able to use the kitchen.
Yes.
For everything, that included the ice, but the senior citizen stuff that's labeled senior citizen. Everything.
I've got two ice bottles. One's gonna be seniors, one.
I got specified.
No, they want to keep the seniors separate.
I'm saying with the exception of the item for the senior.
Yeah, okay, that's on the agenda. Okay, so I'm gonna make the motion that, for the Newton Senior, County Senior Citizen in Precinct 4, that we reverse the, deposit and the fee. Deposit will go to $150. And the fee for the building itself will be $50. If everything's in order, the building is clean. And the second part of this is that they will be able to use the kitchen, except for the items that are labeled seniors.
Right. Motion made by Commissioner White.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? Okay, discuss and if appropriate, approve the purchase of a Kubota KX 057 from the buy board for approximately $78,669.92 by precinct 4. It said the buy board prices vary slightly quarterly. Funds will come from Old 34 account. However, this purchase was not included in the budget for 2023. Let's push file again.
So I've included in there, this is this is an overview of and you can see I have a line item in there, an excavator, and I put 85,000 in it. But what we got is the excavator, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the next line item. The excavator we had is 2012. It is just absolutely worn out. It was actually used when it was purchased in 2012. It is a 12 model, but it was used when precinct 4 got it 12. And we need this for all of the drainage projects we're gonna be doing. We're not gonna get rid of the one we have. We're actually gonna take it, put it in shop, try to bring it back up. We need to them, but the buy board pricing, I'm sure some of you're probably all aware of that. What I was told is it varies quarterly, very seldom goes down, but it typically goes up quarterly. And it may be, we're already on the waiting list. They said they didn't have a problem putting us on the waiting list, even without approval, that if the court decided not to approve it, that there was nothing to remove us. So it could be that we could get this in March if the court approves it. It may actually be later on in the year.
Make it, motion.
Motion made by second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. And item number 5 is discuss and if appropriate, approve the transfer of $85,000 from precinct 4 Commissioner Special 034-615-571, purchase of equipment to support the purchase of Kubota KX 057.
So this is where the sheet here. It should be extra special for precinct 4. It wasn't budgeted. It'll be moved down into that line item of 571 purchase of equipment. Was it
Yes, with a budget amendment.
right with a budget amendment? Yeah, that's what I'm asking for there.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Palmer. Second by Commissioner Benson. Second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All opposed? Item number 6 is approved community services contract provider agreement between Texas Health and Human Services Commission and Newton County for a Newton County nutrition program. This is the grant or the services contract for the Health and Human Services to pay for the homebound meals. So I need the court's approval to
Make that motion.
motion made by Commissioner White. Second, who made the second?
Me.
Seconded by Commissioner Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passed. Okay, number 7 is consider and if appropriate, approve a refund in amount of $13,724.02 to LST Toledo. Also previously paid by previous owners or their agent. And basically with duplicate payments.
Yes. We received a lot of duplicate payments this year. It actually came from Mopus, but multiple other owners, they had paid their own or other agents had paid them. MFM, SD client disbursement paid quite a few. And then also Kind LLC paid the others. So these were duplicate payments and we just need to refund.
Those timber companies.
Okay.
Are those timber companies? Timber investment companies,
That's,
pretty much.
yes, sir.
It's property.
Yes, sir, they are.
It's not business. Property.
Or agents. And you got, when you have, they change agents and things get crossed. See Toledo because when they sent their check, nothing was owed those accounts. So I'm just asking the court to, do y'all have any questions on it?
I do. It just,
Okay, sure.
so they sent their check in, but We're not changing anything from the tax roll. I mean, that money.
No, the,
So I just,
the accounts were already paid,
what I wanted to do.
duplicate payments. Yes, accounts.
Change because we're sending it.
No, sir. The county, this was not owed to the county.
We do these quite often. If they're over a certain amount, it has to come to commissioner's court, but we have several daily to citizens and different ones where they pay online and they send us a check or they pay online twice. We see these quite
Yeah,
frequently.
anything over 5,000 or over comes to commissioner's court. $5,000. That was changed last. So if payments are not due, it's not our money. Okay, any other questions?
I think last year when this came up, well, when we got it,
Oh, I was.
this time of the year, we had several of them.
We had another one
It'll be on the next.
in my office, that's why.
Yeah, it'll be on.
And we talked about it, and the thing is, if it's individuals, we should attempt to correct that or let them know that hey, or something, and their family member need to check into it or something, but
Right,
try to
yeah.
reduce.
Majority of those, it's the title company paying it at closing. And then here comes the new buyer comes in before the title company sends, their stuff. But there are, and we have, what you said, we have contacted, I have contacted multiple family members. They're well, their family members, elders have just become incompetent.
So when a business does it, there's no processing fee or anything like that, because it seems like we go ahead and process the payment, put it in the bank, and then turn around and cut them a check back to that amount.
Not if it's a check. I mean, they paid a lot, but if it's already been paid, there's no processing fee. Now, credit card, if they do a credit card, yeah, there's a processing fee, but we don't receive that. Our third party vendor, but no, we don't. I don't.
Get back for that amount, this amount.
Yeah. They sent a check, too much. Yeah, they overpaid. It was a duplicate payment. There is no processing fee.
Okay.
I don't find it in the code where we can for it.
So we just basically turn around and send them a check back
It's
for
just
the
part of
same
the
amount.
business. Like in the tax office.
Because I think sometimes they actually pay Melissa when they're thinking they're paying Margie.
That's what I was
So
gonna
we
say,
have-
it's a website, and just for your information, that it's not, it's the tax bills, if they go on and pay both to Melissa, but one is supposed to go to her, and one is supposed to go to Margie, then now she's got too much, she can't just pay it to Ricky, she's gotta pay them back, and they've gotta pay Margie. So it happens pretty regular, so that's a quick explanation, that's how it happens so often.
Yeah.
And when they go on to her site to pay it, it doesn't say you owe this much. They're supposed to know from my bill, this is how much I need to put in input. Is that right?
No, well, you can do a property search. You can, so if they go directly in, but when they call, we tell them. And there are less,
That used to be part of the problem. is
that
you
was a
just
major
Go to
problem.
pay your bill.
Yeah,
You think, okay, I'm just gonna pay this much. Well, it may not be the right amount. Without knowing for sure what it is. But more often it's, they paid her for both set of taxes instead of paying some of the margin.
you're right. People that live out of county, people that live in Louisiana, they pay us as duplicate. Any other questions?
Approved payment of these funds.
I make that motion, we refund $13,724.02 to LST Toledo.
Motion's made by Commissioner Benson,
Second.
second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All opposed? Pittsburgh. All right, item number 8, and discuss and approve resolution with TxDOT twenty eighty-nine at Swindler's Creek in precinct 3, which is Mr. Palmby. And we just received this resolution this morning.
Right.
So we were anticipating, so we did have it, on the agenda in case we received it in time, but we did.
And we did, and Ronnie, he faxed it to me this morning after he got it. That's a bridge that I've been working on with TxDOT, basically since December 19th. We went back and forth. That's when the bridge washed out. If y'all remember, that's when we was getting all the 14 days straight. And, that was one of the bridges that just couldn't take it anymore. And, I went immediately to talking to TxDOT on our off-road bridge system, because we had, it's funny that 2089 is now going to receive 2 bridges because they awarded me another bridge, earlier last year to be replaced also on the same road. So that bridge, that road there will have 2 concrete bridges on it, which I think is pretty doggone good.
Let's, yeah.
And a little over $1 million. So we got to,
On it, it said 1.5.
yeah, so, I'm asking the court to allow the judge to sign the, resolution to where they've got to fix this bridge first before they get to the other bridge. So, because earlier in the week, we was talking to Andrew with TxDOT, and he finally called me and told me, he said, look, there's just no emergency funding out there. You're gonna have to fix that bridge out of your budget. And he called back 2 or 3 days later, Melissa did. It's a blessing.
100%.
100%.
Awesome.
Can't beat that.
No. So anyway, I'm asking the court to, Ronnie and the court to approve it.
I make the motion, we, approve the resolution, TxDOT to replace the bridge located on County Road 2089.
All right, motion made by Richard White,
I second.
seconded by Commissioner Benson. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, motion's passed.
They're waiting on that. Rosemary to send it back to me.
Yes.
Yes, they are waiting on it as soon as they get it back.
Yeah.
All right. Item number 9, it's approved resolution to appoint county treasurer as investment officer for Newton County, and that's Ms. Ginger.
Something that I have to do. Our investment policy, it's required as a treasury investment officer. Nothing has changed on this. It's done through the government code and stuff. For the Public Funds Investment Act is where this all is down to. So I'm just asking y'all to approve this resolution.
Have you had your Wall Street training?
Wall Street. No, I haven't got that high yet.
Okay.
I make it my.
Motion's made by Commissioner Palmer,
Second.
second by Commissioner White. And all motion's passed. So I'll pass it to you and let y'all pass it. I'll give everybody a chance to sign. Please.
You make me some money, Ginger.
A little bit.
What's our rate on returns?
You want copies? I brought some.
Oh, everything's going down. It would.
I've been around. I'll give our investment things, sure, it'll go in and.
We'll make them comfortable.
What's that? What's that?
And then I'll remake it. But
The resolution, TxDOT. Oh,
It's hard, I don't think I need it. Thank you, man.
you got the one on Plum, you got the resolution on 4, right?
Okay, item number 10 is approved order adopting investment policy for Newton County, and that's Ms. Ginger again.
this is just the one that for, or to do an order adopting the policy. always 3 steps and has to be separate on each one, but this is just to adopt an investment policy for the county.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Bomby. Second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right, and I think we can go ahead and, item number 11 is improved investment policy for Newton County.
This is just the actual policy itself. And nothing changes from year to year.
Okay.
And it just lists what I can invest in.
Okay, motion's made by Commissioner Bomby. Second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? Motion's passed. Get these signed.
But I love.
Not who made the motion on this adopted. Can you jot that down on there for me?
Everybody. White. White done everything.
Commissioner Bomby, make motion.
Not fast. I need block. I
think we gotta get a battery.
I'm gonna look at that. I don't know. Just gonna put that.
I'm gonna turn the hand at 5 o'clock.
I heard that. I don't get it over.
All right, do you have all your paperwork there, Jenny? All right, we're going to item number 12. And item number 12 is approved to remove Crystal Dubose and Teresa Kemp as signers on county bank accounts and approve Tina Wiggins to be added as signer for the auditor office.
That's all I'm doing is asking for y'all to take those off and put Tina on so we'll be able to all have checks and balances.
Okay.
That's all this one.
So,
Yeah, for probation.
Come on.
90 day or something.
And Sherry's on.
say she was on probation?
No.
But Chris will still do it right now. I think. We're all. All right. All right.
Need a motion for,
I'll make that motion to remove Crystal Dubose and Chris Kemp, signers, bank accounts and to be added for the auditor's office.
all right. Motion made by Commissioner White. Second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's passed.
Pull out. She'll probably have to come down. I'll let that one.
Got here. Yeah.
All right. Is accept and approve the annual historical commission report for 2022. And that's Mr. John Jefferson.
Copy?
I got two copies. They all a lie.
Anyway, this is our annual yearly report, with the study.
About having us before this. This was 2022.
What are we approving? I mean, what is this? Kind of give me, I haven't had a chance to look at, just give me maybe.
Is this what the county pays and then the funds that y'all receive? Combination of,
This is a combination of the records that we keep all year long, projects, everything. At the end of the year, I pull all those, and present those, and Pam and John put them together. And the state asked certain questions. I present them with all those reports and they put that together and report it.
okay. So then the state asks the report.
They ask specific questions, certain information, and it changes year to year. Some of it is standard. How many visitors, how many volunteer hours. I track all that all year long. Doing the tallies.
What about our operation?
I'll make it my.
Motion made by Commissioner Crombie to accept the report, seconded by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? Motion passed. Now, item number 14 is authorized to advertise requests for proposals for property coverage for Newton County. Now, we got a letter from TAC stating that in July or July the 1st of 2023, they would not renew our. But, I'm gonna go ahead and, they may reinstate us. Rosemary has talked to Ms. Lucinda. So we're waiting on word from their management on whether they're gonna keep the insurance. But just in case they do drop us, I'm looking to, advertise to get bids for new insurance. And on this insurance, to get anything legal for the county, we may have to add our vehicle insurance. Because Terry Moore and them had trouble last year getting bids for this property insurance. Only had one company that would bid on it because with the auto insurance and the property insurance, that kind of balanced out, offset the price. So,
Yeah, the property is the high risk, the auto's not, so basically they kind of offset each other and nobody will bid it. I mean, they're one. It's pretty pricey. And then Pat came back in and approved it for another year. I thought we were back in good graces and we were gonna be able to carry on, but then you called the other day.
yes, and this is,
Letter from them.
I put it in everybody's box. I don't know if y'all got it, the letter from tax saying that they wasn't gonna renew us July the 1st. But basically what I'm asking for, if they do not renew us, a motion or Ms. Rosemary to advertise for bids for property.
Let me ask you guys, what is the deductible that we currently, I mean, we talk with TAC, go back through all this. I mean, what are we filing cases for small amounts? Do we need to raise our, our.
Basically, they thought, one of the reasons they said was, and Ms. Rosemary talked to them, that they didn't, a lot of the stuff wasn't fixed, and she told them, look, it's incomplete. Crown Hotel, you know, all we need is get the windows fixed, put in it. And what was it? What was their other reason?
The main reason was because the county sued them. They assumed that we were not happy with them, so therefore they don't want to renew. Whereas if we're not happy with them, why stay with them? So, well, we would like to stay with all three. So, she said she would talk to the manager and her boss.
So we're waiting. You know, so basically, in the meantime, need a motion to, if they don't reinstate us, to go out for insurance bids.
And you know, I hate to keep talking about workshops, but you know, I'm sitting here not knowing anything about related to the subject. So when we talk about insurance, you know, I don't want to be the commissioner sitting here voting on something that I really don't understand. When we talk about premiums and why they don't want us and why they do want us, I don't know what it looks like. You know, as commissioners, should we say, hey, this ain't worth covering, take this out? You know, if it goes away, we'll eat it, you know, what have you. Or if we're going to include the vehicles, we're going to say, we're not going to file on a vehicle if it's less than $10,000. I mean, Leonard needs to better understand so I can make intelligent decisions as a commissioner. Not to say I won't vote on what your proposal is today. I'm just saying that I need a better understanding to be a good commissioner when it comes to talking about county insurance. So if you can help me where I can go get it, I would greatly appreciate it.
It's a long story about us suing tax too. So it's more to it than that.
That's just what she told me.
I know,
And that's all I know. I don't know any kind of details or anything.
I know. It's a big story, big, long, drawn out story behind it.
County really would love to stay with y'all, you know.
And I think we also upped the deductible. They upped the deductible also. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Considerably enough, a lot.
Ready?
And that was before you. I mean,
Yeah, right,
Before
but-
Ronnie. I mean, we all know about it, and Courtney knows about it, and Sherry knows about it.
But the only way we're gonna all know about it is if we have a workshop and we all talk about it. Because if we just vote on it today and I get up, and walk out here, I'm gonna go back to fixing roads and taking care of precinct 4.
Yeah.
And I need to know more about it than when we're in a lawsuit with somebody about it, you know, so I'm just asking you, Judge, I don't wanna ask for another workshop, I'm gonna ask for one, but
Well, you know, why can't we add it to the workshop?
And you can discuss.
you still have to tell people what you're gonna discuss in the
Yeah,
workshop, don't you?
and we'll add it to the next one.
That'd be good for me.
And I'll make that motion.
All right, motion's made by Commissioner Fomley,
A second.
seconded by Commissioner Benson, all in favor?
Ah.
All right, all against, and then we will add that to the workshop. Talk about the insurance. All right, item number 15 is payment of the bills.
Okay, general fund, 45,301. $4. Road and Bridge General, $185. Commissioner Special Precinct 1, $2,749.10. Commissioner Special Precinct 2, $6,103.99. Commissioner Special Precinct 3, $21,993.30. Commissioner Special Precinct 4, $28,548.79. Solid Waste Disposal, $63.73. Newton County Library. Hazard Mitigation Grant, $1,265.25. Courthouse Emergency Grant, $31,058.83. Grants, $251, for a total of all funds, $138,199.41. And before Commissioner Powell answers, we have, 2022 bills, $20,650. Majority of those are for, indigent care. They were turned in, she just received them and turned them into us.
Well, you say, say the majority of those are indigent care, but 25% of them come from precinct 4.
Or, well, you had something, but the majority are for the care. But she received it after the fact, hospital bill, pharmacy bill, stuff. Any questions?
Lots. No, I guess about these bills, and we all talk about bill payment, but I don't have an answer. But somehow we have to have a better system. I mean, this year, we need a better system of tracking cost at a real time, in a real time manner. And, we're sitting here today, and we're talking about paying bills, but we have no clue of what bills were actually, there could be a charge from May of last year still out there.
Well, speaking of that, the outside auditor has sent him a list of any outstanding invoices through February of 2023 that have not been paid. So anything over $5,000.
Do we have anything?
I don't know, unless, I don't know until they're turned into my office.
Well, I
was gonna send an email out to the department heads to make sure that no one had anything outstanding.
So let's talk about that. I'm glad. So I don't have a clue what's outstanding because we have. I just got hit with one yesterday for $4,218 for fuel from last year. And that's probably, I'm well over 20,000. I'm well over 20,000 in expenses from last year that no one knew about, because when the closeout was done, Sherry come back and told me, this is the closeout balance for precinct 4. This is what you have.
That's what Janice told.
Well,
Yes.
the admin assistant.
Yeah.
And so it's only as good as the person tracking it and or their ability to track it, is a better way of saying it. I'm gonna say, and also on this line,
And that's something we can discuss, excuse me, but that's something we can discuss at a workshop as well.
and also on these bills I've asked for, and maybe we can't do it, but we're sitting here signing these bills. And I can verify that what's in precinct 4 is right on the money. That's it. I can't verify anything else. So what I really would like to see on this bill pay is a line that says the preceding list of bills payable was reviewed by the county auditor's office and have found to be valid. You sign it before we sign it. And you basically what
The treasurer used to look at that. What happened to that?
They do. Well, I can get them sent to the treasurer's office as well.
well, I just want.
I send them out to all the department heads. You look at yours, you look at yours. Everybody looks at theirs. Well, yeah, because we had to add something, Commissioner. After the fact, he sent some in. Somebody sent, hey, can you please put this on the bill pay? So we had. All the commissioners have the revised one today.
Get an accurate report, you're gonna have to have a cutoff date.
We do, but at the last minute, people call and say, hey, can you please get these 4 invoices in? Can you please get?
You wouldn't do it for me.
Well,
It ain't right.
You have if you have an emergency situation.
So let me just, that plea for help was because Suncoast said you owe us $4,216
And we had never.
from December the 8th if you need more fuel. Well, they didn't put it just like that. I'm not gonna say that. But they said. So I had some more, so I said, hey, can I bring these to you? And I brought them over there about too late, 3 o'clock or so. And Sherry was gracious enough to put them on here. But still, you got an auditing process, I'm sure, that you look at this. I just want to see that you audit it and sign it.
We will, I'll sign it.
Ginger, you gonna start looking at them again?
Yeah, so. Oh, but what the process used to be was that Sherry was more altogether, Sherry would then do me. She would initial the check and my office would initial, whichever of the 3 the check, and they would be initial.
So is there any way that you can add the treasurer's office when you send them out from the judge's office? She can't. So,
And what I'm looking for,
yeah, I can send them to you.
Before they go to court.
I think it's gonna be really hard to get.
They all check them before they go to court too.
So
Like Morgan gets it yesterday afternoon, she'll call and say, hey, also have this waiting on there. Right, that's what I just said.
Yeah, but you have more than commissioners, you have more than a commissioner.
Yes, we have the judges.
I'm not worried. So it's not just the commissioners that I'm worried about. Like I said, you know, last year's gonna go away and I'm gonna be able to sit here and, yeah, those are right. You know, I've got an Excel spreadsheet that, you know, I track my own. But what I'm saying, we're signing our name to. I want to know that there's a process in the auditor's office. I don't care who looks at it. I want some line item that says, we have an auditing system in Newton County that validates somehow that these bills that y'all are signing are deemed accurate, true. That don't mean one of them won't be bad, but like if Sherry goes out and audits precinct 4 and says it's good, and she does that, and then precinct 2 does something different, you know, it's just it's another way for me to say, I signed that in good faith based on the auditing system that we currently have in place.
Well, I feel Sherry, you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She is doing that. She is doing that, but I want that signature on there.
Oh, you just want my, I understand.
I want a line item that says we on the system, and we need to have a description of what that is. And all the commissioners needs to know what our auditing process is for the county. So if a taxpayer comes to me and says, hey, I want to know why you approved these bills, because they found out 6 months after we approved them that they were not used for county goods, I can say, we have an auditing process is this. Here's the policy. Here's the signature. We worked on good faith. That's what we're going to have to do, because we're not going to be able to check every one of them. Neither are you, but we need a process in place that does the best we can.
Like I said, what's this $34 at Taco Bell for?
That's what I said.
I don't think that's asking for,
No, it's not.
so if it is, I want it anyway.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the bills? We already.
Oh,
I make a motion to approve the bills.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Powell, seconded. Who's gonna make that second?
I need to make
Seconded by Commissioner White, all in favor? All against? All right, item number 15 is budget amendment.
Budget amendment, no action.
Wait a minute,
No
wait a minute.
action. We actually, we had one budget amendment, which was on line item number 5. I think it was our.
Okay, we did that already.
Okay. So that's already been passed, so we'll take no action on that.
Right.
All right. This will conclude the.
I will make that motion, we adjourn.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Benson, second by Commissioner Powell, all in favor?
No,
All again?
no.
All right. All right,
So now you'll go into workshop and
we're going to workshop. Anybody wants to take a break or anything for a little bit?
Not gonna take 5 minutes,
No, it's,
Break that on court.
right?
it shouldn't take long.
Well, workshop's you, ain't it?
No.
Huh?
It's IT. I mean, this is for IT services.
All right, thank you.
We're adjourned. So we got a grant. And it was 32, 31, 42. Found out when I.